Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. My name is DJ Alize. If you're new here, if you're not, again, welcome back. So today in this nurse chat, I want to talk about me hitting 3 months as a NICU nurse. So let's get into it. First and foremost, I want to talk about my experience so far as a NICU nurse. I have worked with so many different patients. I've worked with HIE patients. I've worked with all kinds of different chromosomal disorders, all types of syndromes that I've never even heard of, never even knew existed, all types of physical anomalies and crazy things, and just prematurity in general and how that can affect these babies. And it is crazy, some of the things I've seen. The hospital that I work at sees so many different conditions. It's like #1 in Florida for newborn care. Okay guys, so as I was saying before my camera died, I have seen so many different patients and seen just how much prematurity affects these babies. I mean, we literally care for babies as young as 22 weeks, which in gestational age, like, that is pretty much a mom who is 5.5 months pregnant. Like, that's crazy. That is insane to think about. And just as small as you would think those babies are at that age, that's how small they are. And it's crazy to see in person. But honestly, this job makes me feel so fulfilled. Like, I have never felt this way about any job. I feel like I'm doing something that matters. I feel like I am, really showing my skills as a nurse, really using my knowledge as a nurse and my critical thinking. I feel like I'm getting such a great experience at this job and in this position as a NICU nurse. So I'm going to go through some questions. After 3 months, do I feel like I was ready to come off of orientation? So 12 weeks of orientation, and then now I am independent and working alone in the NICU, whereas before I was with all kinds of preceptors. Like, I had so many preceptors. But ultimately, I do feel like I was ready. Not in the sense that, like, I know everything, because I definitely don't. I'm still learning, and I still ask questions. I still reach out for help, whether it's to my fellow nurse that's in my pod, or just the charge nurse or whatever. I definitely reach out for help when I need it. Also too, I think that I had gotten to a point in my orientation with the preceptors that I had that I felt like I wasn't learning anything else. Like, being with them was kind of like a crutch, or I felt like everything that they were telling me I kind of already knew. Or by that point I could have learned or figured out on my own, so I didn't really feel the need for a preceptor anymore. And it just, so as I was saying, I think I got to a point where I wasn't learning anything else that was beneficial, and I definitely could figure things out on my own. I had gotten at least comfortable enough to where I felt like I could be left alone with babies, where I could be left in a room alone with 4 babies or whatever. I felt like I was confident enough, if an emergency situation happened, I know what to do. Because emergency protocol that you learn in nursing school is for adults and bigger kids. It's not for babies. It's totally different. We don't even really do compressions like that. Like, it's totally different. Like, our biggest thing is respiratory and oxygen. You give a baby that, most of the time they're gonna just recover. If they don't, then you go to compressions. But that is not like how it works in the NICU. It's just not. Also, when I first got to this job, I had never worked with any patients on a ventilator or sedated patients, whereas now I work all the time with sedation and ventilators. Even high frequency ventilation, which is like the highest type of ventilation in the NICU, I work with and I'm comfortable with. Not like I'm a pro, like I said, but I'm definitely comfortable enough to where I can take care of the patient and I don't feel overwhelmed like, hey, I need a different assignment. The biggest thing that I've gotten to know last week and this week, because I've only been off orientation 2 weeks now, is admissions. The admission process in the NICU is insane. Then it all depends on like the baby's gestational age and conditions and all sorts of different like factors, but it is crazy. It's not like an admission in the adult world or just non-ICU world where they're sending you the patient pretty much stable. Like if the patient goes down, they've at least been there for a little bit and they're not going down. Like they're not going downhill. Whereas the patient is already going downhill when they come to the ICU, or they've already went downhill and now it's your job to fix that. Like that has been crazy to me. And so like I'm definitely getting used to it. I had my first like alone admission this week, and what's also different is when you get an admission in the NICU, everyone that is free jumps in to help you. And having that support and having people around you that are more experienced, that will help you, that'll, you know, get your IVs for you, even though like I've gotten IVs on this job. The first IVs I've ever gotten in my nursing career have been on this job. That I've even like attempted have been on this job, like on a real person. Crazy. But people will help you. They will get your labs for you. They will do your charting for you. Like the support and the help that you have in a NICU, especially in the one that I work in, is so awesome. And it really helps make the job so much easier. Another thing I had to learn over time is the NICU workflow. Coming from adults, I think gave me a foundation, but it didn't make it super easy, just because it's totally like it's a different world coming from adults to working with premature babies or sick babies in the NICU. And it's like, I don't know, it's like changing states, changing schools from one state to another, like going from a Florida school to a New York school. I've never been to New York, but I imagine it's totally different from what I've heard. And it is like, learning it was a bit overwhelming at first, but I think I've kind of gotten used to it, and now it's like, it's what I know, rather than when I was working with adults. It's like some things I still remember, but because I haven't done it in months, it's a little hazy, it's a little blurry. But I definitely like the NICU workflow. I like having care time and hands-on time with my patients, because you want to stimulate them as little as possible. They really don't want to be stimulated. They want to be in the womb, and because they're not, we try to simulate that in the NICU. Also too, caring for my babies, just doing their basic care, changing diapers, feeding them, giving them their first bottle, taking pictures of the parent holding their baby for the first time. Like those sweet moments, I love. Love, love, love. Taking pictures of my babies to send to their parents while they're away is so nice, so nice. Giving a baby their first bath, because they've been alive for 3 months, 4 months, but they've never had an actual like submerged in water bath. Like stuff like that is so fulfilling. It's so nice. Getting the first smiles from a baby, like so hard work. It's so hard work. Now to like the nitty gritty. As I said before, and to answer the question, I do like being a NICU nurse. I don't think I could see myself anywhere else. Originally, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I wanted to be a PICU nurse. I wanted to work with the older kids, and becoming a NICU nurse is like, because I interviewed for PICU jobs, and I ended up not getting them, but I landed my NICU position. And it's like everything works out for a reason, and everything happens for a reason, because this is where I was supposed to be. This is where I needed to be with my nursing career. And I don't know if it'll change. I don't think I'll switch specialties. I think NICU is where I belong and where I really feel like I need to be. So I definitely feel like I made the right choice in choosing this job and also leaving adults, because it was, as I said in a previous video, it was just so draining in every way possible. And not to say that being a NICU nurse is not draining. It's just, for me, the benefits definitely outweigh the cons. Like, the benefits and the pros in being a NICU nurse outweigh it to me, and it makes it all worth it with the job that I'm doing. Whereas I didn't always feel like it was worth it in adults, or I didn't feel appreciated, or I didn't feel like what I was doing mattered all the time. Whereas I definitely feel like that now. So if anyone wants to get in a NICU, I definitely recommend it, because if you want to be in a NICU, you'll probably enjoy it. And if you don't, just leave. But one thing I have learned as a NICU nurse, because of some of the traumatic things that I see or hear, or different babies like situation, I do dissociate myself from being a NICU nurse outside of work. And that's not in a negative way, in any way possible. It's just what works for me when it comes to my work-life balance and not being mentally consumed by some of the negative things that I see in my job, because it can definitely take a toll on you. And I think it has before, but not in the way that it was going to like consume me and make me not want to do it anymore. Just because I do use this tactic to, I try not to get too connected to my patients. Like with my population, I think there's a certain extent where you are gonna get like attached, you know, especially you've been having the same patients, or you've seen the same patient there for almost a year. You're gonna have some type of attachment, but it's not to the point where I feel broken or harmed when they go home, or if something drastic happens. I'm not gonna feel like, I don't know, like, I don't want to sound harsh, but I'm not gonna feel, it's not gonna affect my home life, because I have things at home, like I have to deal with responsibilities I have to deal with, and I'm a wife and a mom, so I have other priorities outside of work that I need to be there for. So dissociating definitely helps me get in that, and I think it may help other people too. So that's why I wanted to share it and let you guys know what kind of helps me get through my job, what kind of helps me get through seeing some of the traumatic, painful, you know, negative things that I see as a NICU nurse, because it's not all sweet feeding babies and holding them. No, we do real procedures bedside. We do crazy things that they would never do bedside, or with adults or in different populations. It just wouldn't happen. And like, we go through codes and things like on a daily basis, multiple times throughout a shift, and we just continue, like, because only because we have to, but because it's not uncommon. So it's kind of extreme, like the job and some of the things that we do. And I say this all the time, but I definitely feel like I'm doing things that I've learned in school and things that I felt like are like the hard-hitting nursing abilities and skills. I feel like I do that now. But that's what I wanted to hit on. I'm loving being a NICU nurse. I just wanted to give you guys an update. I'll probably give you an update at 6 months, maybe a year, to let you guys know how things are going and how my experience is going. But I thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and watch my other videos. Connect with me on my socials, and I will see you guys in the next one.